Welcome in everyone to GDT Live presented by DraftKings. I am your host, Colton Davies, and beside me is Adam Kierszenblat, and we're going to go over the Vancouver Canucks, Penticton game, or they didn't even have a game in Penticton, but we'll go over their training camp in Penticton, go over the preseason game that they played as well. Then we're going to talk about the WHL a bit because Adam had a WHL standouts piece that went up on the Hockey News. I believe it was yesterday or it was this morning even. I don't even know. When was it?
This morning.
Yeah, okay. All I know is I read it this morning. I just don't know when it was uploaded. But let's start with the Canucks camp and start with Penticton. Where do you even begin? Let's start with Alexei Medvedev. How did he look?
Yeah, Alexei Medvedev, he looked like a rookie goaltender. He looked like an 18-year-old goaltender, facing NHL shots for the first time. Like, that's what he was. He looked good in the prospect showcase against Seattle. There were times where he looked good at training camp, but there were times that he looked like a OHL goaltender, It's going to be interesting to see how he develops in London this year because it's the London Knights, so obviously they're going to be good. Like, I think that, even if you don't even know who's on the roster, I think you can just say that London's going to be good just because they're London.
Yep.
Side note, did you see the video that came out of London the other day of the glass breaking behind Dale Hunter?
Yeah, chaos. That would be nuts to be dealing with. I don't even know what happened. Was like the fans like banging on the glass and it just like fell?
No, it just shattered. Like, I thought that
Shattered?
it was plastic, but I didn't know it could shatter like that. But yeah, it shattered all over Dale Hunter and some of the players. But
that's
yeah,
crazy.
like, I didn't know that you could hit the glass hard enough to make it shatter behind the bench. But yeah, I mean, like, London, I don't think they're the OHL favorites, but they're up there for sure. Like, I know that there's I didn't see them in the CHL top 10, if I'm remembering correctly. But I mean, they're London, right? Like, it depends on who they get back. But Medvedev, he's a very quick goalie, very athletic. He has like long lower body, so he can spread out a little bit better at the bottom of the net. And it's just going to be kind of interesting to see how he develops because obviously he's signed, which means that the Canucks have, and they jumped at the opportunity to take him in the second round. So they obviously like him a lot. I think that this is a guy he told me it was always going to be London. I asked him about, like, did the NCAA was that ever an option? It was no. Like, I'm going to be staying in London. London is where I want to be, like, situation. So I think that this is a guy who is going to be in the OHL for the next couple of years, and then we'll see what happens after that.
I think it works out nice for him too because Austin Elliott moves on. Now Medvedev can kind of take that starting crease in London and get some more games under his belt. Yeah, London's always a team that will do good, right? Like, we always talk about them being, top of the pack no matter what. I just had Terry Doyle on from the OHL and we chatted about OHL predictions last week, and we kind of laughed because you can't not put London in there, even if they're not the most competitive team at opening night. But no surprises there. How about Vilmer Alriksson? He's a big boy, another OHL guy. How did he look?
Vilmer Alriksson it's just so hard to like not watch him because he's just so big. Like, he was arguably the Canucks' best forward at that prospect showcase versus Seattle. Like, I don't think that we really, like, people understand how good Vilmer Alriksson is for a player his size. Like, they see the size, so they're like, oh, he's just gonna bowl over people left, right, and center. But like, he actually has super good hands, like in tight. Like, he's increased his speed. he's starting to develop his game a lot more, and I think that we're gonna see him a lot in Abbotsford this year, maybe as like a bottom 6 player who plays a physical game, maybe some power play time type situation, like just bring him up slowly. And it was funny because at training camp, Philip Hronek, Hronek's been in the league for a long time. He's faced guys of every size. He tried to hit Alriksson and it just didn't work. Like this is like a top pair defenseman trying to hit a 19-year-old, 20-year-old rookie and just bounces off. So I know that there was a lot of criticism when the Canucks made the pick because it's like, yeah, he's big, but he like can't really skate. But that's like something that he's really worked on in the last couple of years. So he's starting to develop those tools. Now the question is, will they translate to the pro game? Like we haven't seen him at the pro level yet. It works in junior. It looked good at training camp. Now the next step is, can he, make defenders bounce off of him at the pro level?
Oh, he's a big guy. I've seen some of those highlight reels of him, and he's a monster out there. How about DPD?
So yeah, DPD Junior, PD squared, whatever you want to call him. Like, yeah, he's just a wrecking ball out there, right? Like he doesn't care who you are. He's just gonna lay you out like crazy. I know that they didn't have any stats at the prospect showcase, but I'm sure that he threw like at least 10 hits over the 2 games. Like he was just laying cracking players out left, right, and center. He did that again last night in the preseason game. He is one of the guys that has been constantly mentioned by coaches over a training camp. So on the last day, we had Kevin Dean, who's one of the assistants. And if you don't know, what the Canucks are going to do this year is they're going to rotate their coaches in media. So we're not talking to Adam Foote every single day. We're going to be talking to the rest of the coaching staff as well. So Kevin Dean, like specifically mentioned Elias Pettersson and Victor Mancini, like those two, like they were partnered together for training camp. They weren't partnered together in the game, but that might just be they wanted to kind of see how they did apart. But like they were together for a lot of training camp, the scrimmage. Like they look like they have developed some chemistry, and their play styles match really well. And I think the one thing about DPD that people like are going to start to notice this year is that he's really good at transitioning the puck. Like he makes smart passes. So that's the big thing about like, especially making the jump from junior hockey to pro, or in his case, like over in Europe to the pro game, like in North America, is that you have to be very careful with your passes. You can't just be throwing them up. Like he's not wasting possessions. Like he doesn't get the puck and ice the puck. That's a big thing. Like it looks like he's confident on the ice. He has the confidence to take that extra second to find a teammate rather than just try to force passes. So the way that he's developed over the last year and a half is pretty incredible considering where he was drafted. And this is a guy who I like right now. The general consensus is like he's going to be in the opening night lineup on that third pair. Now, how the Canucks manage that third pair will be interesting, but I don't think anybody when he got drafted saw him becoming a, consistent NHLer in his third season since being drafted. So that's a massive win for the organization.
That's kind of what I wanted to get to was, do you think he has the opportunity to, crack that opening night lineup? And by all accounts, everything you just said, it seems like it's trending in that direction for sure for him. Sticking on defense, and I'll butcher this name, but Kirill you want to finish that one for me?
Kirill Kudryavtsev.
Okay, how about him? I know you're high on him.
Yeah, like Kudryavtsev was one of those players that like you're not gonna go into a game and be like, oh my gosh, Kirill Kudryavtsev had these like highlight reel moments. Like he's just good defensively, right? Like he doesn't make a ton of mistakes. He can play a physical game. Like he can break up passes. He can win those like he's just a quiet, good player, which is what every team needs, especially in like you need penalty killing defensemen. You need those third pair guys that you don't notice in a game, right? Because they've just been good defensively, and he's really that. So he got his NHL game last year, or he got 2 NHL games last year. He was on the second pairing for Abbotsford in their Calder Cup run. And he's going to be back in Abbotsford next year. I think that's the plan, just because there's just so much, like, unless the Canucks just go crazy and start trading people left, right, and center, which I don't think is going to happen. Like, Kudryavtsev is going to play in Abbotsford just because there's no room on the main roster. But like, that's a guy who could, play 20 minutes a night in Abbotsford. And like like I said, you need those guys who you look at the game and you're like, I don't remember watching him play a single shift, but he has like a Corsi of 55%. Like, that's that, like, if he can do that consistently, he's going to be a long time NHLer. Like, he's got the size, he's got the mobility, he's got the physicality. Like, overall, it's a he has a bright future, I think.
Okay. And you're right. Like, you don't need to stand out on that score sheet or be the highlight reel defenseman. As long as you have the intangibles and can get the job done, you can make a living on the back end for sure. Another defenseman, somebody that is from my hometown, Sawyer Mynio. I've heard a lot about him recently. How is he looking? And what did you make of him? Did he play last night against Seattle?
Yeah, Mynio did play last night. I believe he was on the third pair. Like, I think I believe he was on the third pair. Like, I mean, he looks like he's ready to take that step to the pro level. Like, I don't think he'll be back in Calgary next year. I think that's pretty well established that he's going to Abbotsford. Like, he's going to be, when you look at Abbotsford, like, Abbotsford has a deep defense as well. So I think Mynio is going to be like that 6-7 guy most of the year. Like, he'll get into maybe like 40 games, depending on how injuries play out and stuff like that. But he's a player that he looks like he can handle the pro game, but he's got some stuff to learn still. Like, he has a great shot. That's always been kind of his MO. His skating's good, but he just has to work on, learning the defensive gaps at the pro level, because the speed is just so much. There's so much more, or players are so much faster at the pro level than in the WHL. Like, that's just a fact. And it's a lot more structured at the pro level than in the WHL. So you got to learn how to do gap control a little bit different, and things like that. So those will come with time. But I mean, overall, he's slowly progressing, and he's going to get that chance in Abbotsford for sure this year.
Looking to the net, Aku Koskanuvo, if that's how you pronounce that last name, he seems like he's kind of taken a step forward and is kind of on quite a few people's radars in Canucks land. What can you say about the goaltender?
Well, I think the thing with Aku is, like, we don't really know exactly where his game is relative to everybody else, because we haven't seen him in a pro game yet, or we haven't, and he's played at Harvard, so it's like really hard to judge. Like, Harvard's not a massive, like, when you see players come from these type of schools like Harvard, where it's like, yeah, hockey's not really their big sport. Like, their team isn't great. It's kind of hard to project how they're going to look in their first year. But I think the best course of action for Aku is honestly is to put him in the ECHL this year and just make him the starter and let him go, and like just learn the pro game. Like, he definitely has some interesting tangibles to his game. Like, he's good. He has good positioning. He's got good reflexes, but I think that, yeah, he just needs that 1 or 2 years. Like, we look at Ty Young. Like, Ty Young dominated in the ECHL. Now Ty Young is this projected backup for the AHL. And I think that we kind of dismiss the ECHL a little bit. Like, but when it comes to goaltending, I think it's important to get that up, like, get as many games as you can in that first year of pro. Because if, let's say that he goes to the AHL, right? They got Tolopilo, they got Ty Young, and they got Yuri Patera already there. So he's not going to play. So it would better be beneficial for him to be the starter in the ECHL rather than be like a practice goalie essentially. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, it's possible that the Canucks have goaltender injuries, but then let's say Tolopilo gets called up. Okay, you're still the third, right? You're still behind Young and Patera. So, I mean, I would love to see him just dominate in the ECHL for a year or two and kind of exactly understand what type of goaltender he is.
There you go, goaltending guru Adam, right there. Let's take a look at a couple players the Canucks just signed moments before we went live, and Riley Patterson and Gabriel Sherratt, who we'd learned is Ben Sherratt's cousin. What do you think of those two guys, and what does that just say about the Canucks adding some more depth to their prospect pool?
Well, Riley Patterson was really good at the prospect showcase as well. Like he stepped up into that top line role once Braeden Cootes got injured. And like he's gonna have a massive opportunity with the Niagara Ice Dogs this year. Like Niagara is a team that was in the CHL top 10. I know that for sure. There's a lot of there's high expectations in Niagara, and I think that Riley Patterson is going to be their first line center. I think that's the plan, but he's going to get a ton of opportunities over there. Like he was good in Barrie, but like it was just like he didn't get those opportunities really. So he's good offensively. He's got to work on his two-way play a little bit, but it shows that the Canucks have confidence in their rookies, that they're willing to give them those opportunities. And then with Gabe Sherratt, I'm really interested to see how he does this year over in the OHL because he was a draft pick this year, 6th round pick. Like 6th round picks don't necessarily get signed a couple months after being drafted, like even if they are in the OHL. So obviously he did some things that impressed the Canucks enough. Like he's never, and remember, he's only played 1 year in the OHL. So like, we'll see how usually you get that first year and you figure out how you're doing, and then you can kind of build off that and become a stronger offensive player. I believe that Sherratt and Medvedev are actually playing each other this weekend. So if you're a Canucks fan, head over to Flow Sports and you can watch some Canuck prospects go head to head. But it says a lot that the Canucks signed a 6th rounder this early. So I mean, I didn't notice him a ton in training camp, but I would there's 60 players there, right? It's kind of hard to notice every single player, and when it's OHLers and NHLers in the same group, obviously certain NHLers are going to stick out more. But I mean, that's great for Sherratt that he got that contract.
It speaks a lot to the intangibles of what he can offer to the game, of course. Before we move on and go to a different topic, Adam, is there anybody else on the Canucks roster that you're kind of giving extra looks at during preseason here?
Well, I think the big name is Victor Mancini. Mancini has been Mancini's been great. He's already became a massive fan favorite here in Vancouver, since he was traded here from the Rangers. I'm really excited to see how they play Mancini because he is he can go through waivers without, or he can get called down without going through waivers. So I think that's going to be big in deciding where he starts. I think he's ready for the NHL, but he might play in the AHL this year just because of the waiver situation. Niels Höglander looks great again. He's looking for a bounce back year. I talked to him at training camp. He's really excited for the season. They had him on a line with Teddy Bluger and Connor Garland. So we'll see how that evolves because they had Kane, Hedel, and Lekkerimaki as a line. And I'm not sure what the plan is with Lekkerimaki because he's being used in the Abbotsford Canucks promotions right now. So I could see a situation where Garland plays on that second line, and then maybe Sherwood comes up and plays with Bluger and Höglander. So we'll see. And then, I mean, obviously the big question is that first line is the line of DeBrusk, Pettersson, Besser going to be able to produce? They look good together. They all three of them have chemistry, right? Besser and Pettersson have played together for years. Pettersson and DeBrusk kind of had some chemistry. DeBrusk and Pettersson, or DeBrusk and Besser, had some chemistry when Pettersson was out. So, like, in theory, it should work. But yeah, though, like, it's going to be very interesting all throughout the lineup, some of these roster battles and how they construct their lineup ahead of opening night.
I'm interested to see how Pettersson does this year too. See if all the noise in the background gets kind of shut out, and if he can just go ahead and play his game. And it'll be interesting to see how he is under Coach Adam Foote.
Yeah, I like the whole Adam Foote. Like, Adam Foote is gonna be. It's gonna be really interesting how Adam Foote takes control of this team, because all of the players seem very happy that Foote is, like, obviously they're going to tell us, how excited they are, but it's not like you can tell that the players are excited to have Foote. When I talked to a lot of the players last year, and I talked about, like, the coaching experience and having that, Adam Foote was always a name that came up. Like, it, like, because I would always talk about, like, oh, how cool is it that you get to work with the Sedins, right? Because that's, like, the Sedins are Hall of Famers, and it was like, yeah, it's cool working with the Sedins. Like, working with Adam Foote every day is awesome. Like, he's teaching, like, he really was a player favorite last year as assistant coach, and I'm wondering how that's going to translate to the head coach, because obviously the assistant coach and head coach have different jobs. Like, sometimes as a head coach, you got to lay down the law, right? Like, assistant coaches don't have to do that. So we all know what type of player Adam Foote was, as during his NHL career. Like, he was a no BS, hard hitting player. So I'm curious to see, how he rides that line as a head coach.
Yeah, I'm interested as well. It's a big year. We all know how his year in Kelowna went, so it'll be fun to watch him behind the bench in Vancouver for sure. Before we move on to some WHL talk, which kind of worked out perfectly with the Kelowna there, we just got to take a quick word from our sponsor here. Shout out to DraftKings for sponsoring GDT Live and Game Day Tarps for the 2025-26 NHL season. Your season, your shot. The NFL season is rolling, and every touchdown can bring you closer to a payout with DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. From first touchdown score to anytime TD props or the thrill of live in-game betting, every snap is loaded with opportunity. This week on the DraftKings Sportsbook app, you can find lines such as the Baltimore Ravens at minus 218 to beat the Detroit Lions and much more. Lines and odds are subject to change. New customers, this one's for you. Bet just $5 and get $200 in bonus bets instantly. Plus, you can grab over $200 off NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV. Your season starts now. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code THPN. That's code THPN to get $300 in bonus bets instantly when you place your first bet of $5 or more. Plus, grab over $200 off NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV. In partnership with DraftKings, the crown is yours.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-78-97-777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort, Kansas, 21 plus age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Fees may apply in Illinois. Void in Ontario. Bonus bets expire 7 days after issuance. See sportsbook.draftkings.com/promos. NFL Sunday Ticket offer for new subscribers only and auto renews until canceled. Digital games and commercial use excluded. Restrictions apply. Apply NFL Sunday Ticket terms at youtube.com/go/NFL Sunday Ticket/terms. Limited time offer.
We're sorry for that. I always love bringing that ad in because Willie doesn't like it. God, he doesn't like it. Adam, let's switch gears. Let's the WHL opening weekend started. What a night it was in Kamloops on Saturday night, and a few other guys had some fantastic nights as well. But let's start with JP Hurlbert in Kamloops getting a hat trick in his first Western Hockey League game. Of course, he's been the big talk of the WHL, one of the top American players coming up to play in the WHL this year. Of course, with the NCAA rule change, you wrote about him. What did you make of Hurlbert's debut before I give my completely biased take?
Well, I mean, like, can you have a better first game in the WHL than having a hat
No.
trick? Like, uh, I don't know if you can, right? Like,
Yeah.
but it wasn't just like his offense. Like, he had the 6 shots on goal, but he won 14 of his 25 faceoffs. Like, that's key. He was wearing the A, so like like, that tells you how much confidence this team has and how like he's already developed that trust with the coaching staff. He had a great preseason. Like, I think that he's gonna be a very good year for him. Like, I'm excited to see how he builds off of it, because it's gonna be hard to build off of a hat trick in your first game, right? Like, it's like, what are you gonna do in your second game? Score 4 goals? Like, but yeah, like, I'm interested to see kind of how Kamloops does as a whole. What they're like what type of momentum are they going to be able to create? Is their depth players going to step up? Because we all know, like, beating like Spokane is arguably the favorite in the West. Like, you can argue between probably Spokane and Everett, but like once Spokane gets Berkeley Cannon back, like that's a whole like that's going to be hard to shut down. And I'm like they were able to beat Spokane. So I'm just curious to see like how Kamloops is, like, their defense holds up. Like, what happens what happens to Kamloops when their NHL players come back. Like, there's so many questions around Kamloops, and also like their goaltending, how that situation is going to unfold. So I mean, it's a good start. Like, obviously you win in the WHL with high end talent, but I'm just interested to see how that as a whole their roster does.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's a fair take as well. JP comes in, has an absolute lights out performance in his opening game, but is that sustainable through, 72 games, 68 games, however many games that they play nowadays? I don't know, right? Like, he is without a doubt a top and elite talent. Like, you watch him out there and he's levels ahead of guys. But it's just how long can that continue on for, right? At some point, teams will figure him out. At some point, other talent will be on the ice. But I'm super thrilled to just see how he does this year and how things unfold for him.
Yeah, and I mean, like, as much as you want, he's not going to score like 200 goals this year. Like,
No, no.
he's not going to get a hat trick every game, but also, like, you know, you look at a player, it's really difficult to like judge sometimes in the WHL, because the levels are just so unbalanced sometimes. Like, when you're on the ice, like if you have 3 players drafted and you're on a line and then they get put out against the 4th line in the WHL, like, it's probably going to end up in the back of the net. Like, let's be real.
Yeah.
So like you have to take advantage of the matchups, but I'm just curious about the consistency. So it's like, does he score a hat trick and then go 5 games without a point? Or is it like he gets a hat trick and then he gets 1 assist, but it's like an assist in 3 of 5 games, right? So it's like, can you be consistent? Because he's going to play more games than he has in the past. He's going to play against tougher competition than he has in the past. So, like, how does that look over an entire season?
100%. And it's going to be a good question to it's going to be a good player to follow throughout the year, because I know there's a lot of aspirations for him to go in the first round. What can he kind of do? But moving on from JP and Kamloops, Bryce Pickford had a 3-point night, the newest captain of the Medicine Hat Tigers. He also ended up in your standouts article. What did you make of Pickford's opening night?
Well, I mean, when you get 9 shots on goal, it's good. When you get 9 shots on goal as a defenseman, it's unheard of, right?
Yeah.
We know what type of player Pickford is. Like, he was so important for Medicine Hat last year, all throughout their season, deserving of the captaincy over in Medicine Hat this year. There's a reason that Montreal drafted him, even though he was a little bit older than most prospects. This is a guy who probably will be in the running for WHL Defenseman of the Year. Like, he's just that good. offensively. He's good defensively. Like this is a guy who Medicine had lost so much talent this offseason with the NCAA that Pickford is going to have to be maybe their leading scorer this year. Like he might be their leading scorer. And it's not going to be like a situation where, you know, it's not like this defenseman led the team with 60 points. Like, no, he might have like 90 points this year. And like,
it's very possible.
Yeah. And I'm just excited to watch him play. Like, he's just so good. Like, he's just so dynamic. And I'm really interested. You know, Medicine Hat is very interesting for multiple reasons. I think Noah Davidson could win a Rookie of the Year over in Medicine Hat. I'm a big fan of the Ruck brothers, obviously. They have like a lot. They have a young team that has like some really exciting players, and they've, you know, Jonas Wu's back. Like they have a good defense. So even though they lost all that high end talent, I think that Medicine Hat is still like one of the favorites. Could be one of the favorites in the East, just because they built up enough talent overall, and exciting offensive talent.
Yeah, look, they lose Gavin McKenna, Ryder Ritchie, Caden Lindstrom, but you just rattled off at least 4 or 5 guys that are not as good, but are in a caliber of their own for sure. The Ruck twins are remarkable. Like they're only going to get better as the season goes on. Bryce Pickford's a great captain for them. Jonas Wu comes back, like you said. There's a lot of players there to like in Medicine Hat. I'm interested to see how they do out in the East because I don't think they're as knocked off in the standings as people might have put them because of the star talent that they lost.
Yeah, like I also like we don't really know. Like we still are we still don't know how this whole so many new players coming in is going to impact the league, and we also don't know how many players are going to end up coming back from the NCAA, because I think there's enough chatter. And like I mentioned the last time I was on, the Craig Button clip where he even like mentioned this, where CHL players might come back, right? Like, I think there's enough chatter that now it's like the seed of doubt, or the seed has been planted in the players are going to come back. And like, I know Kelowna's that's what they're waiting for, right? They're going to wait until some of these players come back before making massive moves, because they don't want to, you know, burn assets and then not have them available for when insert player here comes back from the NCAA. So yeah, I don't want to throw out any names just
no,
yet.
but I know what you're saying, because like you gotta wait till the World Juniors and wait till after that. Wait till the first week after the World Juniors, the WHL trade deadline, and that's when you'll see some of these players come back, or whatever's going to happen, right? Maybe they don't come back at all. But like you have said, enough people are talking about it that there has to be some sort of chatter behind the scenes of some players already not liking what they've done. Moving on, another player that had a hat trick. Actually, first, you know what? We'll save him for last. Another player that had a hat trick, Zack Shantz out in Everett. Big night for him as well. What do you make of Everett this year?
Well, Zack Shantz, 13 shots on goal. Pretty crazy. He scored 3 goals, and then he also scored in the shootout, but it wasn't the shootout winner. And they came back from 3-0 against Wenatchee. I mean, Everett is Everett, right? Like, they got Landon DuPont. I'm actually going to be plan is to talk to Landon at this week. So I'll get some insight into how he's prepping for the season, things like that. They just had most of their players come back, like Julius Mietinen, I believe, came back today from camp. Terrence Smith came back from camp. Carter Bear, we'll see exactly what the situation there with him is. But they built, you know, a super team, essentially. I know that they just traded away Kane Wilkie, which I was expecting him to have a big year, so we'll see how that works out in Calgary. But I mean, they built an all gas an old gas team, right? Like they could win games 7-0 easily, and they can win games 1-0, right? Like they can play so many different styles of hockey. They're just really good. The question is, are they going to finally break this curse, right? Like it doesn't matter who's on their team, doesn't matter how good they are, they can't get to the WHL final. Like they have some weird witchcraft spell on them for some reason, where it's like, yeah, like look at last year. They looked like they were going to the Memorial Cup, and then Carter Bear gets injured. Tyler McKenzie gets injured. Landon DuPont gets injured. Like, what are you supposed to do? Like, Austin Roost isn't 100%. He's in and out of the lineup. Like, what are you supposed to do at that point, right?
100%.
Yeah. So, like, I like Everett. I think that them in Spokane, it's going to be just like a heavyweight fight. I think that could be your West Final as well. So we'll just see. Like they still have a ton of draft picks from Kamloops. Like their draft pick from the Zellweger Hofer trade. Like they still have a couple picks, if I remember correctly, that they still haven't used. So who knows? Maybe they could use those, trade them away, and bring in some more players, right? But like, yeah, they have a good deep team. So I'm excited to see how they mesh and what happens once they have their full roster this weekend, or close to their full roster.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting once they get the NHL guys back and get those guys situated. That team will be very dangerous for sure. Last player that was on your list, deservedly so, a 5-point night for Landon McFadden out in Moose Jaw. I mean, Ethan Semenek as well had a big night. What do you make of this Moose Jaw team?
I want to. The first word that comes to my mind when I think of the Moose Jaw team is just chaos.
Yes.
They played 2 games and they have 15 goals for and 11 goals against. Like
yeah, crazy.
What was it? Their last game was 9-7 against Braeden. Like that's where Landon got his 5 points. I have no idea what to make of this Moose Jaw team. Like there's no way that you can play 10 plus goal games every week.
No.
Or every day. Like there's no way. Like I know like they just traded away their goaltender to Kelowna. Like Matty Hutchison is their starter at the moment. Like he's good. Like he's decent for a WHL goaltender. And like I don't know if this was just they were playing the right teams at the right time, or if we're about to see the greatest offensive team ever created in the WHL. Like I don't know where the line is on Moose Jaw. But yeah, like I have no, I just don't know. Like, and I think that's fair because their first 2 games were chaotic, right? Like every shot was basically going in. So
that's true.
Yeah. How do you evaluate a 9-7 WHL game? Like you can't.
No. It kind of, pretty impossible. That's for sure. One more game I just wanted to get to. The Giants played over the weekend. Ryan Lynn had a goal. What do you? We've talked about Ryan Lynn before. What do you make of him?
I would say that if he was not 5'10", if he was 6'1", he would be a top 3 pick in the draft. And the only reason why he won't be is because teams don't want to draft players that are under 6 feet.
That's true. That's true.
Like I think the thing about Ryan Lynn is that everybody focuses on his offensive game, right? Like everybody is so hyper focused on like this guy looks like Quinn Hughes on the ice in the offensive zone. Like that's what Ryan Lynn's goal is, basically. It's to be the next Quinn Hughes. But like he throws like big hits. Like I've seen him just drop opponents, and he's like really smart defensively. So he knows he's not like, when he's at his size, he's not going to be like a massive like hit thrower, but like he knows how to use his body properly when doing puck battles, and he knows how to use his stick properly. So he blocks off passing lanes. He can deflect pucks, things like that. So it's those intangibles that are really going to make him like an all-around strong defenseman. So we'll see exactly how that translates. But right now, like, there's a lot of optimism around Ryan Lind. Like, I think that he'll go top 10, even at his size. And if he doesn't, then that's the steal of the draft right there.
I love it. That's not even a hot take, I don't think. I've watched him. I've talked to lots of scouts at Blazers games about him too. Like that people love Ryan Lind, especially out in Western Canada. He's very dominant, very good. Well, we'll see what happens. Adam, give me before we let you go here, give me one player on the Giants you can kind of see having a breakout year.
I think that it's easy to like the player that is the easiest to pick out of the Giants lineup is Aaron Obifo, just because he missed so much time last year. And like this is a guy who he was invited to Canucks training camp, or the not training camp, the prospect showcase. He should have been, like, if he stayed healthy, he would have been drafted. Like he's one of those guys that he only didn't get drafted because he missed most of the year. But like that's a dynamic offensive player. Like I think the plan is to play him with Schmidt. We'll see exactly how the Giants build their roster this year with everybody back. But yeah, like that is a player that he has like the potential to go in like the 4th round of this year's draft. And he also has the potential to put up like 30 goals this year. So I'm really interested to see what he does this year, because yeah, like it was just it sucked that he like got injured, missed time, and then like kept getting injured and just had that in his draft year. But I know that he's laser focused. Like when you talk to anybody on the Giants, they're like, Obifo is like ready for a massive year. Like he was a standout at camp, so I'm excited to see how he does this year.
That's a good answer. Adam, we got 2 questions from the chat we just want to get to quickly, both from Big Willie Styles. Number 1, it's never a stupid question. Don't worry, Willie. But how many players do you think will come back to play junior hockey from the NCAA? Now, I'll start and I'll say 3.
Sorry, we're talking about NCAA?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm just trying to like go through the list.
I think at least 3 players, from what I've kind of been told and talked to, I think at least 3 players are going to come back by December.
Okay. And also, I'm guessing this is just WHL, not CHL.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go over under. I'm gonna set the line at 5.5, and I'm gonna go over on that.
Okay.
There you go. Using some betting terms right there for you.
Yeah, there we go. There you go, DraftKings, code THPN, of course. And last question from Big Willie. Best arena in junior hockey with the best food. Now, I haven't traveled around a lot to junior hockey arenas yet, at least. It seems like that's going to be a thing this year with the Blazers. But I have to say, I've been to Vancouver, and I do enjoy when they were at the Pacific Coliseum. I enjoyed the food that was at the Pacific Coliseum, but you probably have a better answer for this. So how about you take the reins?
Victoria has some pretty good food. They have like this package. They have like this buffet package, which is like a really good deal. Everett has good food, but it's just so expensive, and especially when you're like a Canadian paying in US dollars. Like I think they have like a really good pizza there, but like it's like $7 US per slice.
Oh, yeah.
So but like Everett is just a great vibe. Like the whole city is just a great vibe. Especially if you like Funko Pops. They have their West Coast like office there. So yeah, if you're and it's funny because some of the players don't even know it exists, which I'm like, it's the whole like exactly like it's the whole economy of that city basically. And like some people don't some of the players have like never been to it, even though it's like 2 blocks from the arena. But Vancouver, yeah, like the Giants have triple O's, which is always good.
Yeah, that's
so
true.
I've heard that like some of the arenas in the Central Division have like really good food. Like obviously the Saddle Dome and Rogers Place. So Edmonton and Calgary are gonna have some pretty good options just because they're NHL situations. But like I was in Penticton. We'll see how Penticton does with the food. I didn't get to try it just because the lines were pretty long. But it looks like it's just Penticton. They have like a specialized restaurant in the arena, so we'll see how that goes. But yeah, I know that Wenatchee. Cool. I know I've been told that Wenatchee and Portland have pretty good options as well.
All right, Willie, there you go. Breakdown on junior hockey food in the Western Hockey League. I'll definitely have to keep you updated on that one as well as we kind of travel throughout this year. Adam, thank you so much for joining me today on GDT Live. It was a pleasure to have you aboard. And everybody, we will be back tomorrow. Well, I'll be back tomorrow. I don't think Adam will be here. I'll be back tomorrow right here at 12 o'clock Pacific, 3 o'clock Eastern, right here on GDT Live.
What's going on, everyone? Thank you for tuning into another video over here on the Game Day Tarps podcast and the Hockey Podcast Network. We've got so much more where this came from, so smash the like button, subscribe, and don't forget to hit the bell, turn the notifications on so you never miss a beat. For myself and the rest of the guys over at Game Day Tarps, we thank you, and we'll see you next time.